Solar PV, this is much more common at the moment because the government feed-in tariffs have been out for a number of years now, and you probably all remember about a year ago the tariffs cut enormously. Actually, the price of the PV has come down by so much now that the end result is almost as good as it was a year ago. So if you were thinking about it and then thought, oh damn, I missed the good rate, actually it's possibly worthwhile starting to look again. PV generates electricity from the sun, but unlike with solar thermal where it's all about radiation getting a tan, with PV the radiation doesn't matter. In fact, you want it to be as cool as possible. What does matter is the light intensity. So if you go outside and you have to put a pair of sunglasses on, then it's working very well. If you go outside and you don't need the sunglasses, it's not working that well. One of the misconceptions with PC is they'll tell you, oh, it's a 4 kilowatt panel, which means that you're going to get 4 kilowatts. A 4 kilowatt panel probably gives you 4 kilowatts for about 3 minutes a day. Normally, a 4 kilowatt panel on average will probably give you about 1.5 kilowatts spread over the day per hour. A kilowatt of electricity, for those of you that don't know, is worth about 12 pence. So solar PV is all about light intensity. The brighter the light, the better the more energy that you're getting. Currently it works on silicon, and there lies the problem. Silicon is very expensive to grow, very energy consuming to grow. Most of it is now done in China, and effectively what we're really doing is we're exporting all our bad pollution to make this stuff out to China and reducing our own carbon footprint in the UK. I'm being a bit critical there, I guess. Without government paybacks, without the government grants, the payback is around about 40 years at the moment at current prices. The life expectancy of the panels is probably 30 years. So you can make your own judgment on that one. However, with the feed-in tariff, the sums look a lot better, and the payback period is around about 8 years at the moment. And actually, by the week, it's getting cheaper. And the reason for that is that the government are reviewing the rates in April, and so everybody's expecting them to be cut, so everybody's trying to get the sales in now before April. So if you're thinking about doing it, now's as good a time as any in the last year. Yes, one thing actually about these grants that I ought to have mentioned earlier is that nowadays you have to have an energy performance certificate before you're allowed to get any of these grants. And worse still, it's probable that as of March, April time, the government will start saying that you need to have the Green Deal assessment to get your grants. If that is so, then there's another layer of bureaucracy that you have to go through and another fee that you have to pay, I'm afraid. The Green Deal has not been well received so far, and I think the government are going to do everything that they possibly can to make sure it's a success. And the way they can do that is to force all these grants, etc., through the Green Deal to show how many people are taking it out. Understand what I'm saying? Generally speaking, for those of you that own a listed property, the Green Deal has no actual relevance to you whatsoever, I'm afraid, unless you're really poor. This is a large PV site. I think it's about 30 kilowatts off the top of my head. This we put into, just out of interest, St Giles House, which is a Shaftesbury estate. That panel, in theory, in the summer can generate almost enough electricity in pounds, shillings and pence terms to pay for the running of the heat pumps that run in the winter. So it's an interesting sizing exercise. In pure electricity that actually it generates, hasn't got a hope in hell of matching the amount of energy that's required in the winter. But in pounds, shillings and pence, because of the grant, it actually pays for the running cost of the house. You can see the scale of it there.